What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope everyone's having an amazing day. If you are new, welcome to my channel. Excuse me. My name is Jai, and if you have not yet, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff. We are back with Mr. Nightmare, and this is 2 true Uber Lyft horror stories. And Mr. Nightmare, good job, because you are evolving from everything. Yeah, let's get it. I said let's get it.
This first story has high quality visuals courtesy of the YouTube channel Dark Echoes.
Dark Echoes.
When I was 21, I spent 2 years studying abroad in the United States. I was nearing the end of my second semester when my friend Letitia came to visit. She was the most perfect, blue-eyed, blonde-haired French girl that you could possibly imagine.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
embodied the full expression of sensuality and je ne sais quoi. We met a few years earlier at a student exchange party in Argentina, and I was instantly smitten by her beauty and passion for life and cultural immersion.
Don't discriminate.
After she got settled in, we went to a nearby city for sightseeing and dancing. It was a fun night. Letitia and I enjoyed drink after drink as we celebrated being back in each other's arms again. At 2 a.m. the nightclub closed, and Letitia and I said goodbye to our new friends. We walked to a Waffle House a couple blocks away and indulged in a calorie-heavy meal. We were happy, still a bit tipsy and ready to pick up where things left off back in Argentina. It was nearly 4 a.m. when Letitia and I left the restaurant. We requested an Uber to take us home and waited outside for the car to pick us up. 2 minutes later, an average-looking vehicle pulled up and stopped directly in front of us. The driver waved for us to get in, and we thought nothing of it.
No name,
we
no
climbed
nothing.
in, and Letitia gave me a playful spank. As the car pulled out of the parking lot, the driver asked for the address. I searched my purse for the information on the rental we were staying at and gave it to him. It didn't occur to me in that moment that he should have already had that information from when we requested the service.
Exactly, like...
The moving lights from the street lamps intermittently illuminated Letitia's body. She was wearing a thin blue dress that flattered her beautiful silhouette. I was eager to explore her body beneath. As she pulled my mouth close to hers, I could see a notification light illuminating the leather car seats. I tried to steal a look, but a seductive whisper from Letitia redirected my attention back to her. Another notification. This time I checked my phone, and to my surprise, it was from Uber. It said our car had arrived at the Waffle House. I started searching the car for the Uber logo, and my heart sunk as I realized we weren't in an official vehicle. I told the driver, "Sir, I think we got in the wrong Uber." With a reassuring tone, he responded that it was okay because he was an independent driver and that we were almost there. I fought my increasing anxiety. Once again, I was pulled into Letitia's seductive web. She continued to kiss my neck and moan into my ear. A few minutes later, the car abruptly turned. I looked out the window and saw we weren't on the freeway anymore. We were on a side street in a mostly empty section of the city. When I looked up at the driver, I noticed he was leering at us through the rearview mirror. My paranoia took over. I sat straight in my seat and gently separated myself from Letitia. She was unhappy I pulled away, but I told her to slide over and gestured at the driver.
Lord have mercy.
She immediately understood and stopped being so overtly physical with me in the back.
Okay, good.
A few seconds later, the car pulled into an industrial parking lot and stopped. This obviously wasn't the destination, and we were both worried.
Get out.
Letitia took my hand
Get out,
and
get out,
squeezed
get
her
out,
body
get out,
close
get out,
enough
get
that
out.
I could feel her rapid heartbeat against my arm.
Get out, man.
The driver turned off the car and used his fingers to brush his hair to the side, and then he said, "Want to have some fun?" I mustered as much strength as I could manage and let him know we just wanted to go home.
Get out.
I tried to sound strong and authoritative, but my voice came off soft and weak. With a penetrating gaze, he said that he was a nice guy with alcohol back at his apartment. He turned back to face us.
No, I don't want to be your
Letitia squeezed
friend.
even tighter against me. I demanded he start the car and take us back home. After a long glance at our legs, he turned back to the front and started driving again. I took out my phone and dialed a friend from the college. No answer. I tried another friend. Nothing. I realized it was almost 5 a.m. on a weekend.
Call 911.
Nobody was going to answer. Nobody was going to help. And then he pulled into a large, empty parking lot and stopped again. Letitia started panicking. I could feel her legs shaking against mine. Her desperation was palpable. I spoke in the loudest, deepest voice I could muster. "We're done, we're leaving." He only smiled and leered. I tried to open my door, but it didn't budge.
Oh, shit.
Letitia tried to open hers and had the same result. The driver must have activated the child locks. Letitia started screaming. Her heavily accented English was almost impossible to understand. I quickly took the phone and tried to call my friend again. It went to voicemail.
Call
We
911.
were in an isolated parking lot in the middle of the night with no one walking or driving anywhere nearby. Two petite girls with micro dresses, high heels, and nothing in our purses to possibly defend ourselves. The driver reached back and put his hand on Letitia's leg. She slapped it away. "Feisty Frenchie," he said.
Call.
He suddenly
Probation officer, you're going to jail. That way. Period. Cause what's gonna end up happening? They're gonna go to jail. That way. What's going on? Y'all are going to jail. Period.
opened his door and left the car. He walked to the nearby bushes and started looking for something. Letitia turned to me and said,
Get in the driver's seat.
In that moment, I
took
suddenly
off.
remembered a documentary I saw as a child in Argentina. In one of the stories, a woman described how she avoided being assaulted. I told Letitia I had a plan.
Get in the driver's
Put
seat.
2 fingers into my mouth and triggered my gag reflex. A moment later, I vomited in my hands. I then started rubbing the foul mix of alcohol and pancakes all over my dress. When the smell hit Letitia, she puked as well. We both rubbed it on our arms, legs, and even our faces.
Alright, whatever.
We were absolutely disgusting. I heard the sounds of the doors unlocking. I looked up and saw the infuriated driver holding a grimy bag he must have retrieved from the bushes. He screamed at us to get out. We stumbled out of the car and hardly had a moment to collect ourselves before he drove off. A feeling of relief washed away my fear. I took out my phone to request another Uber. We sat together, contemplating the night. We were alone. Nothing left to fear.
Ugh.
The worst was behind us. Letitia took off her dress, and we used it to clean ourselves the best we could. When our car arrived, we confirmed it was our Uber and got inside. Letitia comforted me by taking my hand, and I knew this was an experience neither of us would ever forget.
Wow. Instead, I would have just, I don't know, maybe he had the keys. I would have just hurry up and got in the driver's side and just went on, left. That's all I would do. And call 911. Yeah, I don't know where she's at, but yeah, I would call 911, the police, or go to the driver's side and leave. That's what I would do, but sad situation.
It was a stormy night, the first thunderstorm of the year. This was after my night shift ended at 4 a.m., and I had to call a lift to the train station since I didn't have my car at the time. I waited outside the place I bartended at the time, under the front patio to avoid getting soaked. A car pulled down the empty street and stopped in front of the bar. I had to check the Lyft app to ensure it was the correct car, and it was. A gray Honda Civic. I got in and greeted the driver, whose name was Sahil. I attempted to get in the front seat at first, but he told me not to and to sit in the back. That was only the second time I ever tried sitting in the front. That was before I realized it was customary to sit in the back seat. From the bar to the train station, it was about 10 minutes. The reason I was taking the train instead of just Ubering the whole way to my house is because I'd be saving about $40. The driver was going very slow, but there was nothing weird about that given the weather outside. I would expect anyone to drive cautiously in a torrential downpour like this one. The driver didn't take the highway route. He took us down the side roads. I wasn't concerned about missing my train though. I had plenty of time. I wasn't concerned until the driver said something under his breath and then pulled the car to the side of the road. I looked up from my phone to see why and saw a man in the pouring rain waving his hands in the air. I almost asked if he was stopping to pick him up, but I just observed. And yes, the man on the street got in the back passenger seat next to me. He was soaking wet. He kept his black hood on in the car. I scooted all the way over to the left. I was expecting the man and the driver to exchange some kind of words, but they didn't. Did they know each other? I had no idea what was going on.
Drug dealer.
During the ride, I felt in the corner of my eyes the feeling of that man next to me looking at me. Maybe he was looking out my window, so I shot a quick half-second glance to him. But I was wrong. He was looking at me. On top of it, as the drive progressed, I started paying more attention to the route we were taking. It wasn't the right way to the train station. I tried to sneak a peek at the driver's phone screen to see if maybe he was following some incorrect route. But he seemed to have his phone on his lap, unlike most Lyft drivers who have their phones mounted on the dashboard. I politely said, "I think we're going the wrong way." He replied something in such a low tone mixed with a thick accent that I had a hard time understanding it. By the third time I asked him to repeat himself, I finally just repeated myself and said, "We're going the wrong way." I confirmed this by checking the map on my phone. The driver didn't acknowledge me. I felt as though the guy next to me was inching closer every minute. He also wouldn't stop staring at me. Eventually, I asked the driver to pull over and cancel the ride. No acknowledgement. The driver was blowing stop signs, and there were no stoplights anywhere on these side roads, so I didn't really have a good time to escape, but I knew I was about to be their victim of something. This was some kind of trap, so I decided I was going to jump out of the car when I had the chance. I waited till we were on a street with woods on one side, which was perfect for me to make my escape. The car was going probably 15 to 20 miles per hour.
Tuck and roll, tuck and roll.
The two men screamed stuff in a different language, guessing to each other.
Like Magdalene was being tuck and roll.
Painful, but
Okay, 1, 2, 3, tuck and roll.
I think the layer of water on the street might have cushioned my fall a little bit.
Okay, cool.
The car completely stopped, and I saw the man who was next to me get out. I had to get on my feet and run into the woods. I heard him chasing after me for a little bit, but there was no shot he'd find me. I heard him yell something back to the car, and it sounded like it was in Russian. Then he ran back to the car, and they drove off. I immediately called an Uber instead of a Lyft this time, and this time I was brought safely to the train station.
Great.
While on the train, I went ahead and filed an online police report, and then contacted Lyft and reported the driver. The next day, I also went to the police station and reported the whole incident. But here's where the bomb was dropped.
What?
There was a gray Honda Civic reported stolen just the night before. I gave them every last detail I could remember, and eventually I was on my way. I left that police station contemplating my life, and just how narrowly I may have escaped with my life.
It's just so crazy, like, in any situation, anything bad or good can happen, but I'm thinking positive, you know, but me who takes Uber and Lyft, like all day, all the time, or whatever I need to go, I'm fortunate to live in LA that's like, basically like, quote unquote traffic, and like, everybody's out. Basically I live in like, I'm trying to say live in the city, not in like, and I'm not going towards like woods and stuff. That's the most scariest part. Doing Uber Lyft, you know. But yeah, it's tough. And make sure you're looking at your phone, and make sure somebody who's conscious and not intoxicated is make sure you get to your right Uber or your Lyft or whatever. Yeah, like I said in the first one, I think they should have just drove the car and just took off, or lock the doors and call 911. That's what I would did. So thank you guys for tuning in this video. Tell me guys what you think, what's your expression, what's your opinion, and have the most awesome, terrific day. And subscribe to my gaming channel if you love games, my clothing, what in the description below. Have a most awesome day. Like I said, stay positive, stay blessed, and it's your life. Do what you want and do it positively. Peace.